So for example, when you're playing against champions like Annie, right? So you want to visualize her Q radius. So you have to see how far you can edge up to Q the Annie or see how far you want to be when she moves up to you. So you match her movement and you stay outside of her range.
Okay. Yeah.
And you can kind of like tell that whenever you're watching a pro player's video, they're always keeping in mind of those things because as like the aggressor moves up, then the defender moves back at the same exact time to avoid
Yeah.
the harass.
Um, and I wanna get and sorry, my game's launched,
Mm-hmm.
but I have to let it load up.
Yep.
Okay. When I'm playing against Yasuo, I have a really hard time farming.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them pushes me right under the tower,
Yep.
and theoretically, I've read that the first line of minions is 2 tower shots and an auto attack, and the back one is auto attack, 1 tower shot, and one auto attack. And theoretically, I know that, but I find it really difficult to achieve.
Yeah.
Um, any thoughts?
Okay, so you have to consider the timing of the game as well, because as the game progresses, minions will become easier to kill for Ahri because her spells will almost like one-shot them.
Yeah.
But in the earlier game, you have to only rely on your auto attacks if you're conserving mana. So you have to prepare the minions ahead of time before they hit the tower by auto attacking them once, twice before they head under the tower. And you have to memorize how much damage that tower does to each minion in that certain moment of the game. Because it's not always going to do 2 auto attacks, then 1 tower shot. Sometimes it can be like 3 auto attacks, then 1 tower shot, depending on the game. Because minions' health increases as the game time increases as well.
So when the minion is like not under my tower, but when it's in the middle of the lane, that's when I already have to start thinking like, okay, I can get those minions now, but eventually these remaining ones are gonna come under my tower.
Yeah,
So
if
stop
you already
preparing.
know that it's going to push in.
Yeah.
And for the level 1, you don't necessarily want to give Yasuo the free push. That's why you have to bully him whenever he's walking up to auto attack, so you can get the double Q. So you want to land double Q by casting the Q after he uses an auto attack or walks up to last hit a minion. Or you can use your Q to push the minion wave and do that at the same time as well. Because sometimes he's in the minion wave when he's going up to last hit one of
Yeah.
your creeps, so you can push it at the same time as harassing him.
Okay. I had another question. Oh, oh, sorry. When did you want me to post the video? I'm up to 4 minutes.
641.
6:41. Okay, I'll let it play out. Um, how do you achieve the erratic movement in lane?
So you have to know when to juke back. Basically, you have to be able to read the enemy's spell animation, or you can use your other sense as well, which is your listening to the spell's sound, so that if when you hear the Yasuo's whirlwind animation sound go off, then you juke back and you change directions.
Okay.
Because he's always going to be aiming at where you're standing at the time that he casts the spell, or in the position that you're going to be running towards. And very few of the time they actually predict you to run the opposite direction that you're running for. multiple skill shots, not just the Yasuo whirlwind.
Yep. And in this matchup that you saw just now, did you pointed out that I've missed a lot of damage on my Q?
Yep, because
And
you're not casting the Q as he's in auto animation or dashing animation, so you can land both Qs. And
I cast it when he's in the dashing animation. Like, where am I supposed? Where? Yep. And in this matchup that you saw just now, did you pointed out that I've missed a lot of damage on my Q?
yep, because
And
you're not casting the Q as he's in auto animation or dashing animation, so you can land both Qs. And
I cast it when he's in the dashing animation. Like, where am I supposed? Where he where he lands when he dashes? Is that where I'm aiming?
yep, you want to Q where he's dashing towards and his current position at the same time.
Oh, because he would be going diagonal if I
It
was to throw
depends
out
on
Q.
it depends on where he's standing and to the target he's dashing towards.
Oh, I am at 6 minutes 3 seconds.
Okay. Let me know once you're at 6:41 and pause it there.
Okay. In terms of me managing my mana, how much mana should I be aiming to have at any given point?
You should always be looking to have around 40%. You should always be looking to have around the same mana as your HP total, about.
Okay.
So see how you have 100% mana right here, and you're at 400 HP? That means
Yeah.
you're not using your Q enough to heal,
Yeah.
because Ahri heals herself with his Q after you use your W to get the 9 stacks. And you can do that and heal up to like 60% if you W to stack up to 9, and then Q the wave and maybe hit a champion, and then you get a lot of HP back.
And I am up to 640.
Okay, so ready, set, play.
Yep.
So let's watch how you prep these minions. Alright, so see the problem with that Q there, where you didn't wait for him to be in an auto attack animation before you press the Q.
Yeah.
And there you miss a lot of minions because you... Okay, so you randomly walked up there and entered his radius, where he was able to eat.
I lagged out in that bit, but that's okay. Yeah.
That's fine.
I didn't land my Q anyway, so you know it was a bad move regardless of the lag.
Yep. Yeah, so see how he's still landing these Qs on you? So when he's in the middle of a dash, you should be ready for the Q. He has a little animation around him when his Q is up.
Oh, does it?
Mhm.
What does it look like?
You'll see it like here.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so there as well, you missed the second Q because you didn't walk up. Always look to land the second Q.
And how do I walk? Like, how do I move to land the my second Q? You're saying that walk up to him?
It depends on his position. Okay, so there, the reason why that you weren't able to kill him in that situation was that you flashed and then E, where you could have E flashed and he wouldn't have had enough time to put up the wind wall.
Yeah.
Or even if you had landed the second Q a lot of times earlier on, this event wouldn't have necessarily happened, and the game would probably be very different for the mid lane.
if I had landed all of my Qs.
Hmm.
Yep, yep. Um, sorry, you were saying that when I try to land my second like return of the Q,
Yep. So
walk
you're
up.
pretty much trying to follow the Yasuo. So if he runs up after you Q him, then you run up ahead of time. So you're still leading him and leading the orb towards the
Mm.
direction he's running.
But how do I know which direction he's going to walk to?
Based off of what you can see.
Like he'll probably continue walking the same way.
Yeah,
Okay.
and in a lot of these trades, it's very obvious when he walks up or down because you're already walking that direction as well. You just have
Mm.
to angle it better.
Okay.
Like you're walking instead of completely to the top side, you're like slanting diagonally
Oh,
instead of
yeah.
just
So
going.
I'm not walking as much distance as I could be.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so see here how you're not prepping these minions? You could have
Mm.
gotten both of those. So that's what happens when the minions are about to come under the tower. You have to auto attack them ahead of time.
Yeah.
And here as well, see how he's kind of like in your range, and in the middle of his dashes, you can actually predict where to charm.
Okay.
Once you have a better idea of how Yasuo's kit works, you would have been able to charm him in the middle of his dash there.
Yeah, this is a really bad fight.
And here, see how he cues in the direction you're running? You should have juked backwards.
I thought that I was walking towards the tower, and I thought that's where he would aim, and
Hmm.
then I moved up.
Yeah, and that is because he saw you running towards that direction, but you didn't change your course after the cue went out.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so you're back in lane right here, and you have 300 gold. So you should have spent that 300 gold on at least one to two more potions.
Mm.
Because one potion isn't necessarily enough in the early
Okay.
game.
So you think I should have probably have two or three?
Yep, two or three in a really aggressive lane situation, such as this, because you're taking a lot of trade damage from the Yasuo.
Okay, yeah.
See how there when you queued, you
Mm.
didn't lead up all the way, so the second queue didn't land. So that was just a mechanical error where you misclicked
Yeah.
backwards. And there as well, if you had leaded down, as soon as you threw the Q, the second Q would have landed.
Is there something wrong with the way that I'm standing now to like completely away from him? Should I be doing something
Hmm.
else?
So you should be looking to use your Q in the middle of every time he goes up for a low minion. So you do get the kill because this Yasuo Qs you under the tower and then you get the charm. So the reason why you were able to land that charm there was because the Yasuo was not behind any minions. He was in auto attack animation or the spell animation, which guaranteed the charm. So it's impossible for him to dodge that charm unless he's wind walls it.
Yeah. Okay. So you're saying that I should try to queue through the minions, and well, in lane. But I feel like whenever I was going up to the, this was a really frustrating lane for me. Like I cried.
Hmm.
um, whenever the minions were like getting into the middle of the lane,
Yeah.
I felt like I would just die if I stayed near my minions
And that
because
was due
that's
to
the,
the that's kind of like the result of earlier misplays. So in situations where you feel hopeless, you have to
mm,
look at what happened beforehand that led up to the situation. Because Yasuo versus Ahri isn't a lost lane. Okay, so there as well.
mm,
The mistake that you made was the flash was late because you
yeah.
don't understand Yasuo's champion kit completely, where he can E-dash and then tornado instantly. And so there you should have flashed the tornado, dash tornado combo, and
Oh,
then
okay.
charmed him, and then he would have died. So that was just an
Got it.
experience with Yasuo's mechanics. So it's really important to understand the champion by playing him yourself beforehand.
If he, um, if I was to dash, oh, sorry, flash his
Hmm.
dash,
Yep.
would it have taken him with me to where
No, it
I
would not
was?
have.
Okay, it's even after he had clicked on me?
Yep. Even after he clicks on you.
Oh, okay.
It's not like Lee Sin.
Okay, can we revisit that actually?
Okay. Try and go back if you can see.
Oh, God. We'll
Or do you
try.
want to just go? We can mark off that time. It's like, it was at like 1440. So you can write that down on your notes and
1440.
then we'll look at it after the game so we don't have to restart it all over again.
Yeah. Wasn't that a bit before 1440? I don't want to jinx anything, but my back thing is working. I
Mm.
am back to 14 minutes exactly.
Okay, let's do it. Okay, ready, set, play.
Do you mind if we played it a bit slower so I can see?
Okay, so pause it.
Yep.
Oh
Are
yeah,
you post at 1410?
1410. Okay, go to
Okay.
1411 and pause it.
Okay.
And then let's do half speed, 0.5
Okay.
times.
Yep.
Okay, so ready, set, play.
Yep.
So watch here when you can flash it after he EQs you with his tornado. So he has tornado,
Oh. Right.
now you
Oh.
can flash. And then you would have dodged a
Oh.
knockup, and you would have been able to Q him and use your spells and stay under the tower. And you
So
have
he
dodged
can.
about half of his damage just with that flash.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so
I
let's,
can actually wait until he has landed on the ground and then flash.
well, if you can wait until he's in mid dash and then flash.
Good try. Okay, yeah. Go back to normal speed.
Okay, ready, set, play.
Yeah. And that would have like allowed me to dodge his
Next Q.
give up.
Okay, so in this situation, you wanted to get a pink ward out on the map. So here it would have been better to sell that potion that you had, or you should have even used your potion in like previous fights of the lane. so that you have that inventory spot open for a pink ward. Because if you look at the map, you always want to pay attention to the fog war, because you don't even know that they are heading towards dragon until they actually show up at dragon, because there aren't any wards on the side of the map, so you can't exactly see if they walk towards mid lane ahead of time or not.
So where do you reckon I should have put the pink ward?
So for the pink ward, do you see the bushes in the middle of the river, the small tiny bushes?
Yeah.
Those bushes.
Okay.
So let's see how you do in this fight. Okay, so the mistake there was that you use your charm and your Q into the wall instead of into the bush, because the champions can't dodge into the wall. So if you land your spears in the bush, then they can't dodge it unless they run down, but it's very unlikely. So if you just aim into their path as they're running, consider the movements of the enemy before you land your spells, and you kill the Kha'Zix there. And here as well, you fell for the Yasuo's damage as well and his range. You didn't understand the range of the Yasuo's E, so you walked in range and you got chased down to the inhib tower. So it's really important to know how far away you should be from each individual champion so you can avoid their engage.
Yeah. Is Yasuo's dash about the range of my auto attack? Is that about how far he can be?
Let's take a look.
Is that a bit shorter?
It is probably a bit shorter. It's definitely...
So I can theoretically auto attack him and walk away without him ever jumping on me if there's no
but
move.
You have to understand that whenever you're auto attacking, you're putting yourself in a mini stun as well, so he can catch up during that mini stun. So there's that to think about as well. So that was a good charm. So you were able to land about every single spell in this fight, which was really good. So here, the biggest mistake that you made was the end of the fight. After you had used all your spells, you had used your ulti, you stayed in the fight too long instead of just recalling or just running back to base and coming back with more HP, so you don't want to waste very much time. And Kha'Zix actually was standing on a ward, so you walked too close to the wall and he just jumped over the wall and killed you. So in the middle of fights, you have to look on the map as well.
Yeah. And earlier when Yasuo killed me, sorry, there was an inhib tower and then there was the second tier tower still standing, and I think there was Yasuo and Thresh or someone. And I died to Yasuo. What's the best thing I should have done?
So the best thing that you should have done was you shouldn't have allowed the Yasuo to dash onto you.
So I should have just abandoned the second tier tower and waited for my team at the inhib tower.
And you underestimated Yasuo's damage and his E range. So you get the Yasuo again, and here you just back out. So see here how you're not moving to juke the spell and preemptively dodge it, and you should have juked down instead of running the same direction for a long period of time, because Thresh will understand that and
Yeah.
he'll recognize that pattern and aim where you're going to be running towards. So you should have juked down and you would have dodged the Thresh Q.
And is that the result of me just clicking one
Yep.
direction?
You just click one direction with the right timing.
And if I was running away from Thresh at that point and Caitlyn, the shortest way out of that would have been to walk through the terrain with a little fire on it closer to the base where I got hooked.
So yes, but you have to understand that the reason why that wasn't a great position to be in was because you had just used all your spells and it was a 2v1 situation, because you did have Poppy with you, but due to the lead that the Caitlyn has and the Thresh has, you wouldn't be able to support the Poppy with your ulti down and your Q down.
Yeah.
And your item disadvantage, so it was pretty much 2v1.
Yep, yep.
So after the kill that you got on Yasuo, you should have backed off and you wouldn't have had to put yourself in a life or death situation like that.
Yeah, I made a mistake here. I thought I would go down and help Alistair and Tristana. I thought Poppy was coming too.
Okay, let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
And yeah, in that situation, you could have survived if you had ulted immediately, predicting the Thresh hook.
Oh, as in when Tristana ulted Thresh towards me, I should have ulted away because he was gonna hook me.
Yeah.
Yep, okay.
But the first mistake was trying to head down there.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's the game, so we can leave now.
Okay.
You have any questions about that game before we end this coaching session?
No, I don't think so. Oh, actually, can I ask a question about this first? Before we even launch the game,
Yep.